I have very good news for you, which is that you do not need more clients or longer hours in order to double your profit right this second. True story. All you need is to stop working against your own business. And I'm going to break down exactly what I mean by that. In this video, I am going to show you how to stack your profit margin, not by doing more, but actually by doing less, by pulling the right operational levers and by simplifying the right things that are currently slowing you down. We are actually going to find profit inside of your business without more sales, more marketing, or more offers. Because the hidden truth is that more sales and more marketing is what's brought you revenue, but operations is what's going to bring you profit. Let's break this down. Here is the totally backwards truth about scaling businesses, is that starting a business when you just start out is all about do more to get more. Right? How do I do more? More sales, more marketing, more clients, more leads, more everything, more offers, more products, more to get more revenue, more growth, more speed, right? So starting a business is do more to get more. We all know that to be true because we all did that to get to where we are today. But here's the secret, and this makes no sense. So I'm going to break it down. Scaling a business is all about how do I do less to get more? How do I do less to get more? AKA leverage. How do I identify the highest leverage things inside of my business already? How do I double down on those high leverage things and scale those? And how do I do less of everything else? I want to break this concept down into the tactical things that you can start doing less of right now in order to stack profit. Because here's what I can tell you without having ever met you or seen anything about your business. Is right now, I can almost guarantee the 80-20 rule is going to work against you. 80% of the things that you are doing, 80% of the things that you're spending your time, your energy, your team's time and energy on are only producing 20% of your profit. On the flip side, 20% of the things that you are currently doing, those secret high leverage hidden profit centers, are producing 80% of your take home. 80% of your growth and your upside. And so the trick of scaling not just your business, but your profit is not about more. It's not about launching yet another offer or doing yet another marketing strategy or yet another sales tactic. It's actually about doing less. It's about going into our business and finding the 20% that is producing 80% of our result and systematically shifting our time, our energy, our team, our resources away from the 80% of stuff that might be bringing in a lot of revenue, like it looks really sexy and really good on the front end. But when we actually drill down to the numbers, which we're about to do, what we find is that 80% of our activities are only producing 20% of our results. And those are the things that we get to systematically identify and eliminate so we can free up all of that time and energy and double down on the 20% that is actually producing our highest leverage growth. So how do we find this? How do we find the 80%? How do we find the 20%? The metric that you're going to need to start to track is called the marginal cost of fulfillment. The marginal cost of fulfillment. And what the marginal cost of fulfillment is essentially it's how much it costs for you to fulfill on one more client. So if you run a service business, most of our clients do, how much does it cost for you to deliver your services to one more client? That's the number we need to know, right? How much of your team's time does it cost? What's the software cost? What's the cost of goods sold? How much does it cost to deliver on one more? The reason this metric is so important is because we need to compare it against how much revenue that same client is paying us. How much money comes into the business when that client pays us compared to how much money leaves the business when it comes to delivering on that client's service. The gap between those two is going to be our profit. And we need to know the profit per offer that we have, service that we deliver, maybe even client type that we service, where some of our bigger clients are going to have a wildly different profit margin than some of our smaller clients. We need to start tracking profit per across the business. Because up until now, we've all been so focused on top line revenue, so focused on just the money that's coming in the front end. And we get a little bit distracted by these like big, sexy, shiny numbers that are hitting our Stripe account without realizing it may be the exact same offers that are making us so much money, but are also costing us so much money. So that by the time that client paid us $10,000 on the front end, it cost us $9,000 to deliver on it. And the net result to the business is just the $1K left over. not very high leverage. So let me break down where I most often see this, which is in client size, right? We have our low level, bottom of the barrel, pain in the ass clients. You all know who I'm talking about, right? We have that average bottom of the barrel client that our sales team is going out and they're closing as hard as they can because those little revenue bumps help pay them commission and it helps keep the business running. But if we look at the marginal cost of fulfilling on those clients, our smallest clients pay us the least amount of money and cost us the most amount to fulfill on. They cost us the most amount of time and energy because they're the pain in the ass clients. And more often than not, these are the clients that want discounts, that want refunds, that end up doing chargebacks. So when the numbers actually shake out, these customers don't actually pay us that much profit. They're not paying us very much revenue, but they're costing us an enormous amount of resource to fulfill on. And so when those numbers finally shake out, the margins on them are like razor thin. If that, sometimes I have literally seen where your lowest tier of clients is actually costing you money. It is actually negative profit in order to deliver on them just because they're such a pain in the ass and they end up getting those refunds and those discounts and those chargebacks. So that revenue doesn't even end up staying inside of your business to begin with, right? Versus if we compare that to your top clients, your best of the best clients, these are your largest clients who pay you the most amount of revenue and require the least amount to fulfill on, right? They're the best clients. They don't bother you. They don't ask for chargebacks. They just get the service, they're happy with it, and they stay with you for a long time. So client tier is where we often find one of the greatest hidden profit centers inside of our clients' businesses. And we would never know it. And you would never know it unless we start to calculate and track profit per client, right? Per client tier. We also see this in offers, where one offer may be really expensive and bringing you these incredible top line revenue pay in fulls, and it's really, really sexy. But by the time we get to the end of delivering on that offer, it's cost us so much, it's so expensive to deliver on that our profit is razor thin. Versus some other side offer over here that maybe isn't as sexy, it's not as high ticket on the front end, but it's so cheap for us to deliver on that the profit is actually huge, right? So this is where we have to go back to the numbers and look at profit per service, profit per offer, profit per client tier. I promise you that if you run that calculation across your business, you will find the 80-20. And then we get to the hard part. This is the hard part, remember? Because I said starting a business is do more to get more. Scaling a business is do less to get more. Is this making sense, right? We need to find where our team is wasting resources on the wrong things. So in order to help our clients do that, I've actually designed a diagnostic tool and it worked so well that we're giving it away for free these days. It's called the Hidden Profit Finder. It takes 10 minutes or less, and it's going to systematically go through your business and it is going to help you identify where these hidden profit centers exist inside of your company and what you can do tomorrow for free in order to find and reclaim the profit that is currently leaking out of your business. So if you want that, grab it. It's in the link below. It's the Hidden Profit Finder, and this is the exact tool that we use to help our clients start to identify the 80-20 and the hidden profit inside of their business. So with that tool and with this profit per calculation, we should be able to find what our highest leverage activities actually are. Now, here's the hard part. This is where it gets really tricky, because remember what I said, starting a business is do more to get more. That makes perfect sense. Scaling a business is do less to get more. Less meaning we have to start to eliminate. We have to start to simplify. We have to start saying no to those bottom of the barrel clients that, yeah, we close a lot of them and yeah, they pay us a lot of money. But when I really look at the numbers, it doesn't make sense to continue working with these people. We need to turn off our marketing and our sales efforts that are bringing all of that revenue in. We may even have to grandfather or eliminate and phase out a whole segment of clients that we're currently delivering services to on the back end. And this is where it gets really tough. It's hard to say no. It's hard to say no to that front end revenue. It's hard to convince your sales team to not close that bottom of the barrel client. It's hard to let go of the revenue and that monthly recurring that they're paying you right now, even though you know it's not profitable. This is where the rubber meets the road, is that data and that analysis is just the first step. It just brings our awareness to where the problem is. The next step is we take action and we systematically start to simplify and eliminate all of the low leverage activities activities that are eating up a ton of team time, a ton of your energy, and are not paying you that much profit. And then systematically, as we eliminate these things out and we are freeing up all that time and energy, we now get to reallocate it into our higher leverage activities. We get to eliminate. So what I literally did at my agency is that we fired the bottom 30% of our clients. We fired them just so I could free up my team's time to then refocus on our whale clients, our ideal clients, deliver an even better experience for them, and stack even more profit from them. So this is hard because growth at this stage doesn't come from saying yes to more things, just do more. It comes from saying no. It comes from simplifying, eliminating, and becoming way more discerning with ourselves around what new offers are we willing to try, what new marketing channels will we test, what new clients are we willing to sell. Our new favorite word needs to become no. And that is so tough when our old favorite word was yes. Yes to everything. But the old adage is absolutely true. What got you here will not get you there. And the startup founders that I see, not just scaling their profit, but ultimately scaling to that 8-figure and multi-8-figure mark, they do so not by saying yes, but by saying no, but identifying that high leverage activity, eliminating everything else, doubling down on it, stacking profit. Because now everything that they do is massively high leverage. They are stacking margin, and then they take that margin and they reinvest it and they triple down on the same high leverage activities, the things that really work. And this is how they scale faster and further than most 7-figure founders that I see who haven't yet figured this out and are just stuck floundering in the do more to get more death spiral, and then wondering why over time they're not seeing their numbers move. Their revenue is going like this, where we've got these little bumps where we launched a new offer or a new product and we saw a little bit of growth come in, but then it crashes again. We're not able to sustain it. And we see this trend line over time where realistically the company has slowed way down, if not stalled out entirely. Meanwhile, profit is systematically leaking through the floor. So while this is tough, here's the final piece of very good news. When we shift away from doing more to doing less, what does that require? It requires less of us, less of our time. Right now, you might be working 40, 50, 60, 80-hour work weeks to do more, to try and get more. And when we flip our mindset, we flip what we're focused on in our business, and we actually ask ourselves, how do we do less? What we earn is doing less, where our business is all of a sudden going to start to grow faster, be more profitable than ever, and do so with less of our time. Because what we have unlocked inside of our business is leverage. And this is how we're able to double our profit while working fewer hours, working with less clients, and doing less day-to-day operations inside of our business. Leverage is a beautiful thing. So hopefully I've convinced you to go out, run that profit per calculation, find the highest leverage things, and double down on scaling them. The next step then is scaling them. How do we streamline and systemize our highest leverage activities so that they happen faster, more profitably, and better than ever? And this is where we land straight into operations territory. We're talking processes, systems, SOPs. So if you're ready to take the next step in this process, go ahead, check out my next video. This is where I break down the ultimate guide to building business systems so that now that you know what to build around, you can streamline those high leverage activities and scale even more speed and profit inside of your business. You can go check out that video, and I will see you in the next one.